Greetings, everyone. Sitting down to doodle. I'm just going to do this in ink. No different colors. And how about no brush and water after the fact? It just kind of creates shadow and whatnot. What we're going to do is we're going to go to another planet. And for fun, zoom in first. Okay. We're going to find a flower on another planet. We're going to try to figure out how that might look. So we're going to start with the growth. Nothing too serious. Boom. Now I don't know what planet this could be on. I have a little mound of soil from that planet's surface. Just doing sort of weird kind of maybe fur spiky base, which might keep whatever the creatures away, or maybe entice them in. I don't know. I was talking to some folks I know who had worked in and currently work in greenhouses about what some of my favorite plants were, and some would say geraniums, and some would say what have you. I don't know beyond many names of plants, but I said, I like the Venus flytrap. So I'm keeping that in mind for this out-of-world plant. And the idea would be going higher into the plant would be way easier than coming down. So crawling up easier, let's say, for the first part. Now, I don't have a plan here yet on what to expect this to look like. I'm just going to find my way to it. And I don't know how I want this plant to pollinate. Does that make sense? So we're just going to let this happen organically, maybe? Something like that. We'll see. I encourage you to do this as well. See what kind of fun thing you can just come up with without really planning. I mean, I have an idea in my head, like I said, in regards to a Venus flytrap, but I don't think this is going to end up looking like a Venus flytrap, because I'm the person holding the pen. And what I have going on in my mind right now as I'm doing this is something like a nervous system. Something that might notice a change in temperature or pressure. So Let's find out why I'm creating a nervous system like this. Now, plants, of course, react to frequency, vibration, sound. You can sing to your plants. This might help them grow a little bit too. Positive reinforcement also works on other living creatures like human beings. So if you have something great to say to somebody, share it. But be careful with the negative things that you say. Because that affects people too. That looks a little like a tree in a weird way, in a wonderful way. As I said, I don't have a plan here. We don't know if this planet has multiple suns. Let's say like a weaker sun that maybe doesn't have like a very specific gravitational pull. What if one of the suns within this planet's range was more of a moon that acted like a mirror? Could that be? So one of the suns is not something that would have direct sunlight, but rather direct sunlight, reflect sunlight. It's an interesting concept, don't you think? And that way it wouldn't have the same sort of effect or draw things to it if it's a reflection. Now, here on Earth, I think we, pardon me, we are carbon-based and we rely heavily on nitrogen. So when you think of the air that you breathe, it is mostly nitrogen. We need oxygen, of course. It's an interesting thing. Now, I don't think this is anything like a plant that I've seen before, but maybe a little bit of other things. Now, I don't know about its growth cycle. If there's something that blooms every 2 years, every 10 years. If you have an idea, I don't even know how much gravity there would be on this particular planet. If it's similar to what we have here, what is mostly in its atmosphere? Could it be mostly silicone? What we do know about plants here on Earth, especially certain types of plants, they are connected by their root systems. And they can transmit information through that structure that goes through the earth. So I don't know if this plant that we've made up here would do something similar. Now, some part of this might be considered similar to, let's say, a poppy. I don't know. And we can imagine what kind of colors they might have, or not colors. Maybe they have a different spectrum of light that they thrive on as well. It's interesting to think about that kind of stuff once in a while, don't you think? Even for the animals that live here around us. What do they see that we cannot? Wouldn't it be interesting if there were creatures that exist only in certain spectrums of light, and they could walk amongst us, but we're blind to them because we don't see in that light? I'm not saying that to spook you or anything like that. It's just, that's interesting. So my little experiment here is coming to an end soon, I think. There's a lot on the planet that we haven't seen so far as well. We're still discovering stuff. Okay, let's add a few little dots. It's fun to put a little bit of effort into things that require your imagination. Chances are we've all seen things that kind of make sense. We know roughly how things work, and other things we know very little about. And I think that's important to realize that you don't know everything. And if you're open to seeing whatever that may be, you are better for it. You might say, how is this related to a Venus flytrap? Or does this exist on Venus? Well, I don't know. What's funny is there's a good chance that something like this could exist out there. No guarantees, though. I don't always go for the concept of probabilities and the likelihood of everything being possible out there. I've never really gone for that, truth be told. Infinite possibilities is kind of what I'm talking about. The only reason why I say that is if everything is possible, then it's possible that nothing is possible. That's an interesting thought, because if there was a place where something could exist that knew of the existence of all things, it would possibly be something that would make itself known. Maybe. But it's all just theory. Would we know about it? And let's zoom in on this up here. We'll make this a little fancy looking. How about that? Well, how is that? We've created a flower that doesn't exist on this planet. Pretty neat. Well, folks, I think that's it for now. A little under 25 minutes. And I don't know why I'm doing this. I felt kind of inspired. Well, that is silly. And I gave it a strange alien creature at the bottom with a smile. And for fun, let's get a look at that. All right, well, let's end it there because that's just funny. All right, folks, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit, and hopefully we'll see you again at some point in the near future. Ciao for now.